Hey yogis, I thought I would give you a little tutorial, a how-to video this week. So a few years ago, I filmed with Yoga International this same video on how to step forward from downward facing dog. And clearly it hit a nerve because it was one of their most viewed videos that whole year. And it really just came from my teaching and seeing so many people have a difficult time stepping forward and missing some of the key pieces, the movement pieces that are required to actually successfully do it. So the biggest thing I see is in downward dog, when people attempt to get their foot forward, they stay truer to a real plank rather than allowing their hips to lift and their back to round. So normally in plank you wouldn't want to do that. Plank is really a straight line. It's your mountain pose on hands and feet. But when we're transitioning from down dog to stepping forward, it's not really a plank. It's a different position. So let me show you. So from downward dog, here we are, and this applies whether you are, lifting a leg to step forward or simply stepping straight forward. But what I see people do is they look up, they keep their hips low, and they get stuck. So I'm more like in a regular plank here, and there's just nowhere to go. No matter how strong or flexible you are, you can't get forward. So what needs to happen in order for us to do that is for us to come forward, lift the hips high, and round the back. So it looks like this. You look up, you round, and you step, right? Your foot gets all the way through that way. And doing it on an exhale can be a little easier. So here, inhale, and exhale. Step. I'm not even lifting my hands. I can keep both hands down. Now, not everybody can do that. You may have to come up on your fingers, but it's that rounding action. So let's talk about that for a second. So what happens in the body is that the hips have to lift up. So instead of staying low to the ground, your hips are going to lift, you're going to engage your core, and then what you do with your upper body is also essential. So as I push into my hands, I'm actually allowing my spine to round. So I go like this. It's cat pose. And that rounding, the lifting of the hips and the lifting of the navel center is what will get that foot forward. You're also very much flexing your leg deeply at the hip joint. So it's really those three things coming together. Now if your back is tight or it's difficult for you to really flex your leg deeply at your hip joint or engage your belly, all of those things are going to come into play and it's going to be difficult. But if you at least begin to put those pieces together, you're either going to get much more forward or you're going to get all the way forward, maybe lifting onto the fingertips. You may not be able to keep your hands flat. So how I like to train that into the body in an easier way is both from all fours and from down dog. So you would come to hands and knees, and it's really the action of cat. So you do cow on your inhale, but then you emphasize the rounding exhale, back rounds, belly contracts, the shoulder blades go wide apart. And then, you come open on the inhale and you round on the exhale. So that's going to attend to the movement of your spine and your shoulder blades. Now, working the hip flexion action, you can take one leg up, inhale, it's still cow, arch up. And then exhale, this is closer to actually stepping forward. Push into your hands, tone your belly, lift and try and touch. Right? So I will often, if I'm working on teaching this in a real class, I'll do a few of these. Inhale, exhale, lift and contract. So, you naturally would want to do it on both sides. Then, a little more challenging is to do that from down dog. So you would take your downward dog, and again, whether you're lifting a leg behind you, back and up or not, it's the same action once you come forward. So before stepping, inhale here, exhale, shift forward, shoulders on top of wrists, round your back, knee to nose. So you can do a few of those on both sides. And it's that action that's going to help you step. So eventually when you come forward, same thing. Big inhale, exhale, step. So my hips went up, I came on the ball of the back foot, my back rounded, I engaged my belly, and I'm able to step my foot forward. So think about that the next time you're practicing or attempting to step up from down dog. Remember, it's exhale, round your back, engage your belly, lift the knee to step it through. Now once your foot's forward, lengthen your spine. But in the transition, the back actually rounds. So try that. You can do a warm-up first, do cat-cow, then do like 5 repetitions of lifting the leg, knee to nose from all fours, both sides, and then do it from down dog, and then see if you can actually step. One last hint that can even make it more accessible to you is to place 2 blocks at the top of your mat and do your down dog and your knee to nose action, shifting forward, pulling through on the blocks, because that's like giving yourself, 3 inches or more of arm length. That makes it even easier to step forward. So breaking it down into all those little steps will help you over time to actually step forward with more tracking and ease and fluidity. Hope it's helpful, yogis. Namaste.